Learn simple strategies to be an effective wayshower. By the end of this video, you will have a better understanding of how to use simple strategies to be an effective wayshower in today's chaotic world. Hey, it's Todd Neander, and welcome to another webcast/podcast from LifeQuest Institute, your guide to the new earth. So let us give a little context for today's episode. Have you ever felt like you have a calling to be a wayshower? Now more than ever is an important time to form relationships with other like-minded new earth creators. Yeah. By the end of this video, you will learn simple strategies to be an effective wayshower. So let's jump right into it. How you doing, Anna?
Whoop, 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 whoop,
All
whoop.
right.
I'm excited to be here as usual.
Excellent.
Okay. So I want to talk about wayshowers, of course. I want to get a definition going. I want to talk about other versions of how people know what a wayshower is, as in way shower. Right. People might read it and think it's a shower and or a shower. Doesn't really matter. Right. All right. They're gatekeepers. They're gridworkers. They're lightworkers. All right. A lot of different definitions. And what they do is live a conscious life, seeking spiritual truths. Right. Their thing is the spiritual truths, all right? And then they want to share them, all right? And they are prepared to discuss what feels like difficult, esoteric, awkward, contrary, all those topics that the rest of us kind of shy away from until we start in the information. Right. So. Okay, so on some level, we are all wayshowers. We all have a calling, a mission, and definitely a purpose. Wayshowers live their calling. They have a mission to forge these new trails into the unknown. With all the upheaval and confusion in the world today, wayshowers are showing themselves more and more. You may know them as grounded individuals or the rock in the family, and at the very same time, you might fight, dislike, or even avoid the wayshower in your life. It's like anybody else. When you don't want to hear the topic, you want to avoid them. Right. You know, so it doesn't matter what the family event is, what the work event is. It's like, you know, oh, it's too much drama, you know, but the wayshower, but they'll try again, you know, and they'll try and they know that it doesn't have to be a cosmic event. Right. It could be any situation. Something at work, it might present an opportunity with family, with friends, talking to the neighbor. And the best part is they are not necessarily experts. They're not gurus, and they're not spiritual teachers. And what matters most is taking the opportunity. If the door presents itself, they're going to walk through it. Yes. So keeping that in mind, know that the divine has a way of creating opportunities for you to walk the path of the wayshower. So if you happen to think that, I might want to tiptoe into that, if that door presents itself, take it. Yes. Okay. Yes. So if you take a good look at the wayshower, they're kind of like the change we all would like to see. So that's why I'm saying take a good look and take a good listen, because by actually allowing them to have their say, there might be something to it. It might flip you a little bit, but it might be important. Right. So let's look at why it's difficult to be a wayshower. You most likely are not like other members in your family or friends, you know, the ones that are still asleep. It's so true. Right? It's so true. So don't forget, you are there for a reason, a noble task, often a difficult challenge to shine the light, you know, and shine that light into dark places. Okay, and a lot of people aren't ready for that dark stuff to come out, but everybody needs to recognize that we all are going to experience that darkness bubbling up into the collective consciousness. And a lot of people want to push that dark stuff away and look this way. But the reality of the shift is we all have to bring it up, because we got to see the ugliness. We got to notice it, identify it, recognize it, accept it, and then transcend it. You can't just keep your head stuck in the sand and expect all that just to go by, you know. So a lot of the stuff, especially in our Facebook group, you know, a lot of members are a little offended with the disclosure aspects, which would be the darkness. And the reality is we're trying to get people prepared for when the darkness really comes and bubbles up, so it's not such a kick to the stomach, you know. It's difficult because everybody wants life to be the same. They don't want the change. But then there's the ego.
Right. So let's talk about the ego.
Great.
Right. So the ego hates change. There will be people in your life who will try to pull you back into the safety of the tribe. Wayshowers are the ones who leave the apparent comfort of homes or communities in order to change the world. Okay, Wayshowers have done the inner work. Now, I say that to some extent. The great work is to truly become self-aware of your spiritual essence, to truly be one with that, the remembrance of your spiritual self, the opening, the full openness of spiritual awareness. And that's really the two baselines of this shift in consciousness. Now, we're not saying that inner work they've accomplished that, but they have accomplished, to some extent, they're on the right path going towards that. Enlightenment or super consciousness or God consciousness or Christ consciousness, okay, that's full awakening. And that's where all, whoever is going to ascend to the fifth dimension will go through that process. And not everybody's supposed to, but, you know.
So the inner work is knowing that if they're rejected, you know, that it's not personal to them.
Right.
So they have those baby steps of an inner understanding, so that when they share, they're taking a risk.
Right.
And they're willing to do that. So if they're kind of in front of somebody and they're saying things, they won't take it personal. It's just going to be like, okay, they're somewhere on the spectrum.
Yeah, excellent.
Right?
Perfect word.
It really is.
Right. So we got to pretty much sacrifice our ego attachments in the need to be loved. Very much like a detox. Okay. Loneliness is another aspect of this, and it can be one of the most common symptoms. To help cope, we have an excellent video, How to Grieve During These Traumatic Times. I think we just did last video or the video before.
Yeah, we have it, so go find it. It's on our Awakening to the Shift page, and it's great because there is a grieving process.
Yes.
All right, so getting back to how they're healthy. Because of the inner work, it's healthy mind, body, and spirit.
Very important.
All right, so they're kind of, I don't know, let's call them more well-rounded.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't mean they can't get angry.
Right.
You know, but they don't do that as much as they might have used to do.
Right.
So they have, I don't know, they have to be this way in order to be able to present information. So they have done a lot of the inner work, and they understand themselves, they understand themselves to the point of what makes them tick.
Right.
And they kind of stay away from the things that might trigger them. So they're not easily triggered or annoyed.
Yes.
Right? And they also have a bigger picture in mind and no longer fall to the petty and the drama-filled activities that are going around them. They just kind of you know, like they know that's not the opportunities.
Right.
So they stay away from that. And people will notice, you will notice their higher energy, their higher vibration, the love, the more positive attitudes that they have.
Oh, you'll sense it.
You sense it,
Yes.
you know, and you might not like it because, and not only that, but they also are a reminder of the way we all could be.
Yes.
And that's another piece that's hard to digest.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see, they can be a healer. They're seeker of the deeper meanings of life, the philosophies of life, and they undeniably trust the divine plan. Undeniably. They don't falter too much, even when they don't always understand what's going on. They still hold the divine plan as truth and solid.
Right.
So they often receive downloads when you're talking to them. They're not really talking as their self because as they're hearing the intuition. They're going with their gut.
Yes.
They're hearing the small inner voice.
Extremely important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with all of that, then they will act on that.
Yes. Yeah.
So they grab their courage and daringly blaze through the trail. They forge on.
Right.
And you know what? We need that. We need those different perspectives.
Yep.
Because many times it'll be like, I mean, your head might go, huh? You know, like I've never heard it that way before. So,
All right. So if you're ready to pick up the Wayshower's torch, here are some simple strategies to be an effective Wayshower. Okay. So first would be a Wayshower plants seeds like a gardener. Okay. Not all seeds turn into healthy, viable plants. Some don't make it at all, but they try anyways. Okay. Don't be attached to the outcome, as we know the universe is conspiring behind the scenes anyways.
that's that divine plan.
Correct.
Conspiring
Correct.
behind the scenes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And your intention will reap a better harvest. Beware of the energy of your intention. What's the next one?
So,
If they like to say, well, it takes 21 different
yes.
messages, right?
Yes.
So it takes 21 different messages for opportunities to make a change in another individual's behavior.
And habits.
In habits.
So it takes that 21 times to hear it. Might hear it from you, might hear it from them, might hear a commercial, might hear the neighbor, might hear, and so they might be on the low spectrum of that just yet.
You could be on the 14th message with them, right? Still a ways to go till they get to 21. So smile and leave the conversation.
But if you know that possibly they're at the 14th or the 10th or the 17th, it's not personal.
No,
they're still growing. They're still growing.
Right. You have no right to change another individual's reality. You're just delivering information. They have their own beliefs, which is influencing their perception of reality. That is their reality, and it could be totally different than how you're perceiving reality. Remember, perception creates reality, not your thoughts. Beliefs influence our reality. So other individuals have different beliefs, so they're looking at reality from a whole different perspective.
Mm-hmm. And the bottom line is they always have choice. We have the choice to share it. They have the choice to accept it or not.
Right. And the shift in consciousness is creating waves coming into our planet that is breaking down beliefs so people can start looking at the world in another way. But not everybody's going to shift. But, we're trying.
And we keep trying.
Right.
Okay. They also don't have the need to be right.
Right.
Right. That was funny. Okay. And when you don't have that need to be right, it's not easy. It's not easy because you want to be heard. So if they're kind of, blowing you off, it's like, hey, I didn't get my opportunity. You didn't understand. Did you hear what it's like they're quick to drop the ball there. And when a Wayshower kind of changes and pulls away from the community, they pull away from the tribe, there's a big chance that they will be put down. They will be questioned. They will be doubted. They'll be misunderstood.
Right.
And all of those things that they're pretty much saying, I don't like the way you're behaving in the tribe. This is not what the tribe does.
Well, they're used to seeing you one way. They formed a relationship with the old
version.
Right, the old version. Now you're this new version.
So rather than change, the tribe has to shoot the message. They have to shoot the messenger.
Yes.
All right. Awkward, hard, not easy. So we can be okay with that. And we honor that they're on that, as we said before, 14th step of their 21 steps of the message, and without the anger. So it's often easier to gently walk away than to share the ideas or to continue sharing the ideas. The hard part is to walk away with a genuine smile on your face or a wink in your eye, that says, I get you. I understand where you're at. You're not there yet. Right. And hopefully the little bit of seed that I planted might sprout just a little bit more. Or might not. And so the wink of the eye, instead of wanting to just kind of like shake some sense into them.
Right.
So because if they weren't kind of haven't done that inner work, that kind of anger, that kind of insistence, that kind of my way, highway, you won't find too much of that.
Right.
So.
All right. So you want to have compassion for those who aren't ready. Okay. They can't hear our words due to fear. Fear causes all of us to be deaf to the words of that still small voice within, intuition, you could say. Smile genuinely. They are on their way. Remember when you weren't awake. Okay, don't push your agenda, as we were just saying earlier.
Yeah.
It's not up. It's just you to deliver information, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. People are all on their own trail. You know, we're trying to get people on our train. Well, not our train track, on a train track. We're not saying we have the train track. We have a train track.
Okay. So
right.
we want to respect their space, their their place, with a little nudge.
right. All right.
So
I think Wayshowers.
Yeah.
Will also show others by example how they live their truth by being it. You want to live it. Don't just preach it. You want to live it, and people will recognize that. They will notice that.
Then, oddly enough, they may even come to you one day and say, the other day you said such and such. I didn't understand it. Tell me more about that. Right. I mean, it's far and few between, especially on the early parts of the spectrum, but it does happen. True, my most favorite thing people say to me is, how did you know?
Right.
How did you know?
Right.
Because they're so close or closer.
You might get the opposite of that, because if you beware of pushing too hard, because that they might not want to talk about any of these topics again.
They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you at all. Okay. But that being said, don't underestimate yourself. If something feels off, trust that feeling and stop. If something feels that lights you up, that you kind of get like a little nudge within yourself, a little tingle within yourself, follow that feeling and share a piece. Right. Don't give them the whole enchilada. They'll definitely start giving you that posturing that they shut down. They got their own arms folded. They're kind of looking around. They're kind of distracted by something else. They'll yawn.
Go to their phone.
Yeah. Oh, everybody does that. They're good. So watch that body language and the fidginess. If they're fidgeting. And do the best you can. And often come from the place of observing. Because when you observe, then you know, yes, no, maybe so. And you're not sitting there like a hawk just waiting for that door to pop open. It's going to be a natural process. So a subtle process you mentioned early. Right. And it's a good way to just kind of be the observer and you're not even going in with the idea of I'm going to get them today. I'm going to tell them today. It's not even like that. It's just normal conversation, and there might be a little something that kind of triggers the thought that they might be ready for a little piece, and I can follow this thread of conversation and share something. So I guess at the end of the day, watch for the miracles, because watch for the synchronicities and take a minute to celebrate that when that happens, when it manifests. We want to celebrate that it's like, ka-ching, like you got a check mark in the air, like you did a good job. Don't think too much. Don't think like you got them and they want to have a conversation with you tomorrow. Possibly not. They got to process. Everybody has to process.
Right, and don't forget, there, like we were speaking at the beginning of this video, there is going to be a lot of truth coming out about what's been going on in this world, and it's going to be a shock to the collective consciousness. So a lot of the people you were talking to now and maybe a few months ago or a year ago that were avoiding you, once all this information comes out, they might be knocking on your door.
Yeah. But the bottom line, I think, is as challenging as the path is, the rewards outweigh the effort.
Yes.
Okay. And truth be told, it is worth the little bit of ridicule that you might experience, because it's coming your way.
Right. In the end, you'll get the last laugh.
Yeah. and that could be a year, 2 years, a month, a week, a day, but it's in like.
In the end, yes. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to close out this webcast/podcast, and if you're seeing this webcast or you're hearing this podcast and you're not a part of a private Facebook group, then you should check out our tribe. We have over 26,000 awakened individuals getting together and growing themselves over in our private Facebook group titled Awaken to the Shift. So you just want to go to Facebook and type in the search bar, Awaken to the Shift, and you'll see our group right there. And we have over 26,000 members, and we're trying to get everybody together as we're going through the shift in consciousness And this way you're around like-minded individuals.
And you will see on the page the upheaval. You will see the different conversations. And we consider the page to be a practice area to talk in a way that's looking for, just some kind of openness of, I don't understand, tell me more. We have a video on all that about conflict. There's another video that you can look into. So, you might see people flaring off because they got triggered. And some of the topics, if you already know about them, scroll by. If it's a lot of drama on there, scroll by. We don't need to be filling our heads with all of that stuff that somebody else, possibly on the lower spectrum, someone who doesn't have an understanding, someone who has clearly a different belief, doesn't make them wrong. It just is it's where they're at in that moment. So hopefully they're reading everything and maybe reading a piece of information that they're like, and it's weird because you'll notice their head will, there'll be that, and notice for yourself, like, how many times have I done it? I've done it plenty. We're just like, I never heard it that way because I'm kind of stuck in my tribe.
Yes.
And my tribe could be what my parents taught me, and then and everything around my life, whether it's the school and the teachers and it's kind of sheltered to a larger degree. We don't have the big picture, but the big picture's starting to show itself.
All right. Excellent show. Excellent show.
It was.
All right.
It was great.
And we'll talk to you later. Any last words, Amy?
Always. Create a great day.